He was 54. A successful man, by all accounts. He'd built a career, raised a family, and was finally at that stage where he could see the horizon. A future with more time, more travel, more freedom. But lately, a quiet fear had started to creep into the edges of his thoughts. It wasn't a big, dramatic fear. It was a subtle collection of whispers. The whisper of his knee when he got out of his favorite chair. The whisper of his lower back when he bent down to tie his shoes. The quiet groan of his own voice when he stood up after a long dinner. He'd started to notice other people his age. Some were vibrant, playing tennis, hiking mountains, chasing their grandkids with an easy energy. Others seemed to be shrinking, moving more carefully. Their world was getting smaller, quieter, more cautious. And his deepest, most unspoken fear was this: which one will I be? He worried it was his heart, his weight, his stress levels, all the usual suspects. He never imagined that the most accurate predictor of which path his future would take, the single biggest clue telling him whether he was on the track towards vibrancy or vulnerability, was hiding in plain sight. At the very end of his legs. What if the secret to a long, healthy, and vibrant life isn't just hidden in our blood work or on a cardio machine? What if one of the most powerful signs is written on our bodies, clear as day, if we just know how to read it? Hello, and welcome to 40 Plus Wellness. We're so glad you're here. This is a space dedicated to you, to navigating the incredible journey of life after 40 with strength, health, and wisdom. Our promise is simple: to bring you authentic, meticulously researched information that you can actually use in your real life. Today, we are opening a case file on one of the most misunderstood aspects of human health. We're going to show you the toe sign that doctors and longevity experts are beginning to recognize as a critical marker for health span. And more importantly, we're going to give you the blueprint to fix it. This is not just a video. It's part of a larger conversation about taking back control of our own health narrative. It's a mission to move away from quick fixes and towards deep, lasting wellness. If you believe in this mission to reclaim our health with wisdom, please take a moment to subscribe and join our community of health protectors. We'd be honored to have you on this journey with us. A small click for you is a huge statement that you are ready to become the health detective your family and you deserve. Now, let's open the first case file. The critical sign we are talking about isn't a mole or a strange mark. It is a sign of function, or more accurately, dysfunction. We call it the disconnected toe. This is when your toes, particularly your big toe, are no longer strong, independent, and functional. They appear crowded, stiff, or deviated, the most common example being a bunion. We see it and we think it's a cosmetic issue or a simple artifact of aging. But it's not. It is your body's check engine light, signaling a foundational breakdown that can have devastating consequences. Let me tell you about David. David is a 52-year-old lawyer, sharp as a tack, who prided himself on staying active. He'd developed a bunion on his right foot in his late 40s, just like his father had. He ignored it. It was just a bump. But over the next few years, things started to go wrong. He developed a nagging pain in his left knee. Then, his right hip started to ache after a round of golf. Finally, a persistent, grinding lower back pain set in. He spent thousands on chiropractors, massage therapists, and ergonomic chairs. He got temporary relief, but the pain always came back. No one was looking at his feet. They were looking at the site of the pain, not the source of the fire. David's body was a perfect example of a foundational collapse. To avoid the pain from his stiff, disconnected big toe, his foot began to roll outwards as he walked. This tiny, subconscious change set off a chain reaction, like a series of dominoes. The ankle took the strain first, Then it passed the bad mechanics up to the knee, which in turn torqued the hip, which ultimately twisted the pelvis and lumbar spine. His back wasn't the problem, it was the victim. The crime scene was his foot. So why does this happen? Think of your body like a house. Your feet are the concrete foundation. If you have a crack in the foundation on one corner of the house, you don't just see a crack in the basement. You eventually see a crack in the drywall on the second floor. You see a window that won't close properly. You see a door that sticks. The problem manifests far away from the source. Your big toe is designed to be a powerful, stable lever that pushes you forward with every step. It should be straight and flexible. When it becomes stiff and angled, as it does with a bunion or a condition called hallux rigidus, the entire mechanical function of your body is compromised. Your body is a master of compensation, but compensation always comes at a cost. That cost is pain, inflammation, and arthritis in other joints. Right now, I want you to perform a simple self-assessment. Take off your shoes and socks. First, look down. Stand with your feet parallel. Look at your toes. Are they straight, or are they crowded and angled? Is your big toe pointing straight ahead, or is it drifting towards your other toes? Second, perform the sock line test. Look at the outline of your shoes. Now look at the outline of your bare feet. Is the shoe shape narrower than your foot shape? For most of us, the answer is a shocking yes. We have been forcing our feet into a shape they were not designed for. Third, try the lift test. While sitting, try to lift just your big toe, keeping the other 4 toes on the ground. Now, try the opposite. Lift the 4 small toes while keeping your big toe planted. Is it difficult? Does it feel impossible? If you see a disconnect between the shape of your feet and your shoes, or if you struggled with the lift test, you have some degree of the disconnected toe. But don't panic. This is step 1, awareness. Now let's look at what happens if we ignore it. Ignoring the sign of the disconnected toe leads to a devastating 2-pronged attack on your health and longevity. The first is the structural collapse, which we saw with David. The second, and arguably more dangerous, is the metabolic collapse. This is where foot pain doesn't just limit your movement, it actively drives chronic disease. This brings me to Susan, a vibrant 64-year-old retired schoolteacher whose greatest joy was her sprawling garden. She developed a stabbing pain in her heel, which her doctor diagnosed as plantar fasciitis, a condition intimately linked with poor foot mechanics that begin at the toes. The first few steps out of bed felt like walking on broken glass. Her daily walks with friends became a chore, then an impossibility. Her hours in the garden, which required her to be on her feet, dwindled from joyful afternoons to a few painful minutes. So, she stopped. She told herself it was temporary. But days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Her world began to shrink. She spent more time on the sofa. She drove to the corner store instead of walking. The lack of joyful movement led to comfort eating and gradual weight gain. 1 year after that heel pain started, Susan went for her annual physical. Her blood work came back with bad news. Her blood sugar was in the pre-diabetic range, her cholesterol was elevated, and her blood pressure was creeping up. Her doctor was blunt. "Susan," he said, "your new sedentary lifestyle is putting you on a fast track to heart disease and diabetes." The heel pain didn't give her pre-diabetes, but it created the cascade of collapse that did. It was the spark that lit the fire of metabolic disease. Movement is medicine. It is the single most powerful driver of metabolic health. It regulates our blood sugar, manages our blood pressure, and keeps our cardiovascular system robust. When pain prevents us from moving, we lose our most powerful medicine. Research is overwhelmingly clear. Sedentary behavior is an independent risk factor for nearly every major chronic disease, including heart disease, type 2 diabetes, dementia, and many forms of cancer. It is as dangerous as smoking. Foot pain is one of the primary drivers of sedentary behavior in adults over 40. It's a silent epidemic. It's not dramatic, but it systematically robs us of our health by forcing us into a state of inactivity. Your homework from this section is not to suddenly run a marathon. It is to perform a simple mental audit. First, identify the hesitation. Over the past month, what activities have you avoided or hesitated to do because of pain or fear of pain in your feet, knees, or back? Was it a walk with a friend? A trip to the museum? Playing with a pet? Write it down. Second, connect pain to inactivity. Look at that list. Acknowledge, without judgment, how a structural problem is creating an inactivity problem in your life. Seeing this connection is a profoundly important step. Third, reframe the goal. The goal is not exercise. The goal is to reclaim one joyful movement. The first step is simply to believe that it's possible. Which brings us to our final case file. The human body has a miraculous capacity to heal and adapt, but it must be given the right signals and the right environment. The path to restoration is not about a quick fix, an expensive orthotic, or a risky surgery. It's about systematically rebuilding your foundation from the ground up by waking up sleeping muscles and changing your environment. Let's talk about Mark, a 48-year-old weekend warrior who loved playing basketball. He started getting a nagging ache in his Achilles tendon, another classic sign of poor foot mechanics. He did what many of us do. He pushed through it. He bought a fancier brace, popped some painkillers, and kept playing. He was treating the symptom, not the cause. One Saturday, he went up for a rebound and felt a sudden, sickening pop from the back of his leg. He had completely ruptured his Achilles tendon. His attempt to power through the problem led to a catastrophic failure. The result was major surgery, a year of grueling rehabilitation, and a significant bout of depression as he was forced to sit on the sidelines of his own life. Mark's story is a crucial warning. Restoration is not about aggressively pushing through pain. It's about intelligently working with your body to reverse the damage. Your feet contain 4 layers of small, intricate muscles called intrinsic muscles. In most modern humans who have spent their lives in stiff, narrow shoes, these muscles are dormant. They are asleep. Your arch isn't just a bone structure. It's a muscular structure that is supposed to be strong and dynamic, like a leaf spring. When these muscles are asleep, the arch collapses, putting immense strain on the plantar fascia, the Achilles tendon, and the entire kinetic chain. The path to restoration is based on 2 principles: neuromuscular re-education and creating a healthy environment. You are literally re-establishing the brain-to-foot connection. Your feet will adapt to the environment they are in. If you put them in a shoe-shaped cast all day, they will become weak and dysfunctional. If you give them space and allow them to move naturally, they will become strong and functional. This is your action plan. Do not be fooled by its simplicity. This is powerful. Commit to this for 5 minutes every single day. First, toe yoga. This is the wake-up call. Sit down and practice lifting your big toe independently of the others, then lifting the 4 small toes. Do this for 60 seconds. At first, it might feel impossible, but you are forging new pathways in your brain. Be patient. Second, the short foot exercise. This is the arch builder. With your foot flat on the floor, gently try to drag the ball of your foot back towards your heel without curling your toes. You should feel the muscles in your arch contract. Hold for 5 seconds, relax, and repeat for 60 seconds. This is like a sit-up for your arch. Third, The critical calf stretch. This is the chain releaser. Stand facing a wall. Place the ball of your foot up on the wall, keeping your heel on the floor. Gently lean your hips forward until you feel a good stretch in your calf. Hold for 30 seconds on each side. Do this twice. A tight calf is a primary accomplice in most foot crimes. Fourth, the shoe audit. This is the environment change. Your goal is to spend as much time as possible either barefoot in a safe environment or in footwear that is shaped like a human foot, not a shoe. Look for shoes with a wide toe box and a flat, zero-drop sole. This is the single biggest environmental change you can make to ensure long-term foot health. We have covered a lot of ground, from the house foundation to the dominoes of collapse, all the way to restoration. I know it can feel like a lot. So please, don't try to do everything at once. Your homework is simple. I want you to take one step to make this information real in your life. To do that, I'd love for you to share one thought in the comments below. Just tell me, what is the one case file, number 1, 2, or 3, that resonated with you the most today, and why? Sharing your experience is a powerful act. It helps you, and it lets others in this community know they are not alone. I can't wait to read your thoughts. Remember the man at the beginning, afraid of which future he would have? The power was in his hands the whole time. It's in your hands, too. Your body is constantly communicating with you. Your pain, your stiffness, these are not signs of weakness. They are requests for your attention. Thank you for your time and for your trust. Be the health detective that you and your family deserve.